A while ago, a user by the name of ravishingkhen came to my channel and asked me a few questions regarding atheism and spirituality. This video is going to be directed to him, and I hope that I will be able to help him with some of his unanswered questions. Question number 1. Do you believe we all came from stardust? In the early universe, helium and hydrogen existed. But for heavier elements, such as oxygen and iron, some of the building blocks of life, there needed to be an extra step. Stars were that extra step. The heavier elements had to be synthesized within the hearts of the stars. And eventually stars go supernova. Stars die. And when they go supernova, the heavier elements proliferated into the universe. But you don't have to take my word for it. Here, listen to the master himself.
Atoms are made in the insides of stars. In most of the stars we see, hydrogen nuclei are being jammed together to form helium nuclei. Every time a nucleus of helium is made, a photon of light is generated. This is why the stars shine. Suppose, as we traveled through interstellar space in our ship of the imagination, we could sample the cold, thin gas between the stars. We would find a great preponderance of hydrogen, an element as old as the universe. We would find carbon, oxygen, silicon. The most abundant atoms in the cosmos, apart from hydrogen, are those most easily made in the stars. But we would also find a small proportion of rare elements, praseodymium, say, or gold. They're not made in red giants. Such elements are manufactured in one of the most dramatic gestures of which a star is capable. A star more than about 1.5 times the mass of the sun cannot be a white dwarf. It made its life by blowing itself up in a titanic stellar explosion called a supernova. There has been no supernova explosion in our province of the galaxy since the invention of the telescope, and our sun will not become a supernova. But in our imagination, we can fulfill the dream of many earthbound astronomers and safely witness, close up, a supernova explosion. Most of stellar evolution takes millions or billions of years, but the interior collapse that triggers a supernova explosion takes only seconds. Suddenly, the star becomes brighter than all the other stars in the galaxy put together. If a nearby star became a supernova, it would be calamity enough for the inhabitants of this alien system. But if their own sun went supernova, it would be an unprecedented catastrophe. Worlds would be charred and vaporized. Life, even on the outer planets, would be extinguished. In our ship of the imagination, we are now backing away from the star. But the explosion fragments, traveling almost at the speed of light, are overtaking us. Individual atomic nuclei, accelerated to high speeds in the explosion, become cosmic rays. This is another way that stars return the atoms they've synthesized back into space. The shockwave of expanding gases heats and compresses the interstellar gas, triggering a later generation of stars to form. In this sense also, stars are phoenixes, rising from their own ashes. The cosmos was originally all hydrogen and helium. Heavier elements were made in red giants and in supernovas, and then blown off to space, where they were available for subsequent generations of stars and planets. Our sun is probably a third-generation star. Except for hydrogen and helium, every atom in the sun and the Earth was synthesized in other stars. The silicon in the rocks, the oxygen in the air, the carbon in our DNA, the gold in our banks, the uranium in our arsenals were all made thousands of light years away and billions of years ago. Our planet, our society, and we ourselves are built of star stuff.
Thank you for that explanation, Carl Sagan. Now, don't you think that is a much more beautiful way of looking at the universe, looking at the formation of humankind, looking at how the universe came into being, rather than the Old Testament stories of how man was created from clay and how woman was created from man's rib? Question number 2. If I just believe in a creator or grand architect, is that still dogma? No. What you are essentially describing is deism. And for many atheists who were religious at one point, deism is just a stopover before atheism. Many of the founding fathers of the United States are thought to be deist. Deism is a simple belief which states that the grand architect, God, whatever you want to call it, created the universe and then withdrew itself from it. God does not interfere with human lives, nor has any interest in human beings. In its very nature, deism is not dogmatic. Question number 3. Is believing in something that is beyond our comprehension a natural belief? Well, obviously there are many things that humanity has not discovered yet. To say otherwise is the height of arrogance and the token of stupidity. However, anything that cannot be proven with science cannot lie in the realms of the natural world. This includes God, gods, spirits, fairies, flying spaghetti monsters, teapots revolving around Mars, without us actually being there to see it. Final notes. Are you a deist? If you don't believe in a God that interferes with human affairs, if you believe in a God that just created the universe and withdrew from it, then yes, you are a deist. Deism, by its very nature, is non-dogmatic. However, because deism holds to a belief that there exists a deity without any proof of that deity, deism lies in the realms of superstition. But as superstitions go, deism is top-notch. As a former deist myself, I do not have a problem with deism. Deism has no dogma. What I have a problem with is dogmatic belief, and any free-thinking individual, any rational person, should have a problem with organized religion, because organized religion is all dogma. Organized religion discourages dissent. Organized religion prohibits free thought. Just say no to organized religion. Well, I hope that I have answered some of your questions. If there are any other people out there that want me to answer some of your questions for you, please send them in. PM me or leave a message in my channel. I may not be the most qualified, but you'll get an answer anyway. Have fun and stay safe.